A hybrid shoe or road to trail shoe is a cross between a road shoe and a trail shoe. Something that is cushioned to support you when you're pounding the pavements, but also grippy enough to keep you upright when you're going along some more challenging terrain. Shoes like this are super popular with runners at this time of year who want to dip their toe into the trail world and don't want to fully commit to a trail shoe just yet. Plus, they're a really great winter option when you could be running on a lot of wet and slippery roads and can do with some increased traction that shoes like this offer. So today I've gathered together my 3 top road trail shoes, one from Nike, one from Hoka and one from Salomon. We're going to be putting through a full test, going through all my likes, my dislikes of each one and see which one of these comes out on top. All of these shoes here on test today are all neutral shoes, and all hybrid and road to trail shoes are not going to be perfect in really deep, wet, winter, muddy, boggy conditions or super technical trails running through the mountains. Equally, you're not going to be setting any 5K PBs in shoes like this. They're the best of both worlds, pretty good on the road and pretty good on the trail and perfect for this time of year. As always, I bought all 3 of these shoes at 100% with my own money to give you that completely unbiased, 100% honest review so you can get the right shoes on your feet. Right, starting out, the first one we've got here is the Nike Trail 5. This set me back £130 here in the UK. Stack code at the back, 38mm, with a drop overall of 9.5mm. Weight-wise, this came in at 344 grams and my UK size 12. Midsole, we've got Nike's all-new React X, which is exactly the same midsole as you see in the Nike Pegasus version 41. We'll link to that video up here if you're looking for a new road shoe potentially. In terms of the outsole, we've got some 3.2mm lugs and we've got Nike's own all-terrain compound here as well. There is unfortunately no wide option in the shoe, although the width is good, but there is a waterproof version, a Gore-Tex version here, and it was true to size for me. Right, let's get stuck into my likes. First things first, as I just alluded to, it's a nice wide toe box here, lots of room in the standard shoe. Unfortunately, they haven't got a wide option, but they don't really need one because the standard one has got loads of room for a good foot splay. If you thought version 4 was a little bit on the narrow side, this is definitely improved in version 5. And it is also supremely comfortable, one of the most comfortable trail shoes I've ever run in. The Nike React X foam just works so well on this type of trails, and it's just so nice through the foot strike, really nice and responsive as well. The upper here gives a really good lockdown with no slipping at all, no blisters, no hot spots. This shoe is just all about comfort on the trails. Really like the Nike's flywire lacing system here, and when you're on some more challenging terrain, off-road, jumping over some logs and things like that, it just holds the foot in place really, really well. And the ankle collar as well, something to really point out, really gives a good confident feel, no slipping or rubbing or anything like that. Good sort of toe bumper at the end here, just to protect your feet at the front of the shoe. As I mentioned, the React X midsole is a big step up from just Nike's standard React foam, which they used previously, and it just feels really good on road and off road. And if you really want to pick up the speed, put in a little bit of extra effort up those hills or towards the end of the race, then it really does that well. It now feels just much more responsive than the outgoing model, just much better energy return, and it just looks good casually after a run, a really good looking shoe. Didn't really like this sort of pull tab on the back, it just looks a bit flimsy. So that brings me on to my dislikes. First one, the grip is fine for wet roads, light trail, but you're going to struggle on wet rocks or anything like that. Yeah, it's difficult with these shoes. They're not really designed for that. I'd love to see the Vibram outsole on the Pegasus range that they put onto the Zagama. That would be a bit of a dream. But yeah, the traction's okay. It's fine for what we're doing testing on this type of surface. But in some rocky areas, you are going to be able to feel the stone sort of coming through slightly. There's no rock plate or any sort of plate in the shoe to protect you from that. All in all, the Pegasus Trail 5 is just a really good option for those non-technical trails, those far roads, those single tracks and city running too. And it will really work well for anyone that's going out some hiking, walking long distances. Right, let's move on to the next one. In from Hoka, the Challenger 7. Quickly guys, if you are finding the video, so please smash that like button and please check out my website, benparks.com. We've got road plans, trail plans, loads of 5-star rated plans, the best running hats in the business and technical gear to keep you powering it through as you're getting it done. Thanks very much guys. Right, back to the video. I've really enjoyed running in the Challenger 7, or ATR, stands for all terrain I think. I really like this colorway. Let me know what you think about this. My girlfriend hates this colorway, but I just think it's got some really cool 80s retro vibes. Anyway, this set me back £130 here in the UK. Stack code at the back, 31mm, which is a slight increase on the outgoing model, which was 29, and a 5mm drop here overall. Weight-wise, just over 300 grams for me in my UK size 12, 306. A slight weight decrease. Come on, we love that, versus the outgoing version 6. The midsole, we've got the updated compression molded EVA foam here. We've got the Durabration rubber outsole, 4mm lugs here, a little bit longer than the Nike's ones. And it also does come in a wide option should you spec that as well, which you do need because this shoe is a little bit on the narrow side. There's also a waterproof GTX Gore-Tex version. And finally, this was true to size for me. Right, let's get stuck into the likes. Starting out, you really got to think of the shoe as the Clifton of the trail world. It feels exactly like a Clifton on the road, just with that little bit of extra grip, that extra outsole, which you can feel. That's the only slight sort of difference. But it's got a really good road feel. And when you want to pick up the pace on the road or the trail with the lightweight nature of this shoe and that big chunk of Hoka's midsole here, it's just a perfect shoe for those long runs. And whenever I've been out for an extended period of time, just had no heating up issues at all. Really nice ankle flare at the back. I have been having a few little Achilles issues, but this has been an absolute joy to run in. No agitation there. There's a lot of cushioning here to look after your legs. It's certainly one that's definitely on the softer side. Hoka's really squishy soft foam. Some people will really like that kind of ride, and a stable ride as well. And then finally, the updated engineered mesh upper feels really durable to me. Haven't had any issues with that so far. A few little dislikes to go through. I'd love to see a bit more toe protection at the front, a little bit of a toe bumper, just to stop yourself stubbing roots and bigger rocks and things like that. But it's just not the most nimble. It's a little bit big, a little bit clumpy, but that's just sort of the classic Hoka feeling. And the standard version is definitely on the narrow side. So if you have got a wider foot, definitely go for the wider option here. But no, all around, fantastic shoe. Perfect for getting those road miles in and those trail miles as well. And finally today we have the Salomon Sense Ride version 5, one of the first Salomon shoes I've actually reviewed on the channel, and hopefully it won't be the last because again, I've enjoyed the shoe. These are all really good shoes we're chatting about here today. Now this set me back £130, stack height at the back, not 129, 29mm and an 8mm drop overall. Weight wise, 346 grams for me in my UK size 12. The midsole here, we've got some energy foam midsole, which is an EVA blend from Salomon, and the Contra Grip rubber outsole. Lug depth 3.5mm. All these shoes are very, very similar to that. There's no wide option here, but there is a waterproof option that you can spec, and this wasn't true to size for me. I did get this in my UK size 12, but just found it a little bit small. So I would say go half a size up because this shoe is definitely on the narrow side. Right, let's start out with my likes. It has Salomon's famous quick lacing system here. You just pull it up, lock, and then tuck it away there, and you're good to go. It never came loose on any of my runs. I never had to adjust it. It's what you need when you head out on the trails. You don't be stopping, adjusting your laces. It just cinches right, and it gives a really nice lockdown throughout the whole foot. It just hugs the foot really, really nicely. With that fantastic lockdown, you've got some really good grip on the shoe here. This is the best grip out of a lot of them. The grip at the back going up and down hills has been really fantastic. You're really not going to get much slip here unless you're getting some deep mud, but this shoe grips fantastically in any sort of spring, summer or autumn type conditions. And then not everyone will like this, but some people really will, is that this shoe is definitely on the firm side. You've got a lot of ground feel coming through this. Very, very similar to something like the New Normal Kyrag. And as we know, Kilian was a Salomon athlete before he set up the whole New Normal shoe brand, everything, and the feeling is very, very similar between those shoes. It's certainly a harder ride versus the Hoka, which is sort of super soft and pillowy. You can feel a lot of the ground when you're cornering, when you're running fast. You can run really fast in this shoe and feel very, very confident. It's a bit more of an old school traditional feel, but that's what a lot of Salomons are like. And finally, I think this shoe is just pretty damn cool. I love Salomon products. I love what they do. I love the athletes that they sponsor as well. It's just got a really good, cool vibe about it. Let's have a chat about the dislikes. This is very narrow. If you are someone that has average to narrow feet, you're going to be okay. If you're a wider footed runner, unfortunately, you're going to have to give this one a miss. And then finally, as I say, you either like it or you don't like it, but if you want a really soft, plush ride to look after your legs on very long distances, this may be one to avoid. It really has that sort of faster, engaging, ground contact sort of feel with this type of shoe. A bit more suited for some shorter distances. Right, let's wrap this video up. So if you're looking for the most comfortable shoe out of this range, I would go for the Nike Trail version 5. The best for long distances, then definitely the Hoka Challenger ATR with that super soft, foam in there, going to look after your legs. The best for grip, I would have to give that to the Salomon shoe. The outsole in here is absolutely fantastic, and the best for speed would be the Salomon shoe as well in there. Just so much more confidence inspiring, really good lockdown, just works really well. But I think the best overall here, the best that sort of mixes everything that I'm looking for, is going to be the Nike Trail version 5. It's very hard to find any sort of fault with this shoe. The Ractex foam I just think works a lot better on trail than it does in a dedicated road shoe. It just gives that really nice responsive feel that you want out on the trails, and super comfortable. You're just not really going to have any issues. Good width in the shoe as well, great lockdown, and it looks pretty cool. So that's my best on test today. But I wholeheartedly recommend all of these 3 shoes for anyone looking to get out on the trails for maybe the first time. And that's where the next video is coming up, because that's all about how to get into trail running. So go and check out that video, guys. That's coming up next, up here or up here. Hope you enjoyed this video. Keep on working hard, keep on it done, and we'll see you very soon in the next one.